Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. My name is Nick.
I'm Ian.
And today it's something we kind of touched on a little bit off and on over the last couple of years, but today we're going to talk about some newer bands that are just doing some great stuff in music right now. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on that link down below. Go check out the Vinyl Den Facebook group. It's just a cool place to continue the music conversation. There's also a couple other links down there. There's one for the Vinyl Den merch page. We have Vinyl Den t-shirts and sweatshirts on there, which Ian's not wearing his shirt today.
No, I went Jethro today.
But there's a link for the Vinyl Den Spotify and Apple Music playlists where every week we're just compiling music that we're talking about on the channel, putting it together on a nice playlist for everyone to enjoy. And there's also a link for the Vinyl Den Patreon page. If you want to support the show, it's always greatly appreciated. And you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give us the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we release new episodes. So the first one I got is Youngblood. He's an artist that I've talked about quite a bit on the channel over the last year or so. His real name is Dominic Harrison. He's an English musician. I think it was like 2017, like late 2017, he started releasing a couple of singles through various different outlets, but it's kind of caught fire. Did a couple of EPs and has now released 2 studio albums. His newest album, which is called Weird, was released in 2020, and it's probably one of my most listened to albums over the last year and a half. It's definitely my most listened to album in 2022. As the day we're recording this, I've actually already listened to it 3 times today. So I streamed it earlier this morning. I listened to it on CD in my car when I was running around doing some errands, and then I played it on vinyl earlier today too. So it's a fantastic album. He's got a new album coming out in September, and I guess I should say he's like one of those kind of, I don't know, newer music is it's kind of hard to fit into a genre. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of kind of different stuff. I would kind of classify it as kind of more like punk rock kind of stuff, but you know, there's a lot of different genres also, and there's some electronic stuff that he's done, touches on a little bit of almost like a hip hop kind of stuff too. So definitely different than some like a more traditional rock musicians that you're seeing today. But his new album comes out in September. His first single, I think, was called "The Funeral." Is getting a lot of airplay lately, and it has Sharon and Ozzy are on the video for it too. So I'm definitely looking forward to that album. Hopefully, I'm hoping that it's as good as his other stuff has been.
So for my first band, I found these guys. When we decided to do this list of new bands, I didn't know any that were like new. So I really had
to do some more research.
I had to look into see what's out there, and I'm glad I did because I found a lot of good stuff that I didn't know about. But the first band that came up was Like Machines. Seemed like they're kind of going to go down like a Black Sabbath,
like a darker metal,
metalish, harder rock, yeah. But a lot of the songs I listened to had like there was one that could have almost been an Alice in Chains song.
Really?
Yeah, and so it has a bit of a grunge, so maybe like a Black Sabbath grunge element to their sound. And in their bio, it says that they're trying to bring rock back down to like a, not roots, but kind of the basic elements of rock, which is there. And I like that because, you know, I like slightly harder edge, like metalish kind of rock. And they kind of fit that profile. They don't have a full album out. It's all EPs, but, you know, check them out. Like Machines.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. Another one of those newer bands I've kind of talked about a little bit over the last year or so is Dirty Honey. They're a band that I think it was when Greta Van Fleet's new album came out early last year. There was someone in the Facebook group was like, hey, if you're into Greta Van Fleet, you got to listen to Dirty Honey. And they're 100% correct. Dirty Honey, their album came out in it was like late 2020 or early part of 2021. And it's a fantastic rock album. It's definitely a lot more straightforward rock than some of the other stuff that, you know, I typically get into or have gotten into lately. But Dirty Honey, when I listen to their debut album, it gives me like an early Black Crowes kind of vibe. So if you're into that kind of like almost kind of southern kind of rock, definitely make sure you check them out.
So for my next one is a band out of the UK. It's a 5-piece. I guess they formed in 2017, but they didn't start releasing EPs until 2019.
Yeah.
The band's called Pastel. This band kind of caught me off guard because the first song I started playing, I was like, did I accidentally click on Bush?
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, no.
Are they
very Bush sounding?
Really?
But then I was going through other songs. I'm like, well, there's some Oasis in there. There's a lot of the bands that I found in my
British?
list. Yeah, they're British.
Okay.
A lot of the bands I found seem to have this like link to 90s rock, which is kind of unique. I mean, you think of Greta Van Fleet. Yeah, you think of Greta Van Fleet kind of harkening back to the 70s, and same with even, like you mentioned, Dirty Honey. But now I'm starting to see like these new bands coming up, and they're like kind of embracing this grunge alternative indie sound from the 90s. And Pastel seems to be doing that, but on a very British level with Bush and like Oasis and stuff. So I really dig them. Every band that I listen to for this list are bands that I put into my list of bands I like.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Pastel from the UK. Check them out.
The last one I've got on my list is a band called Meet Me at the Altar. They're kind of I guess I'd probably put them in that punk kind of genre,
like pop punk.
Yeah, something like that. They formed back in, I think it was 2015 when they actually got together and formed the band. It's a all-girl band, which is, something you don't really see a whole lot anymore. But
maybe a little bit more nowadays, but now it's not always been consistently a popular thing.
They released their first EP in 2021 through Fueled by Ramen, and hopefully they're going to release a full length here soon. But I've liked what I've heard from them so far. They got kind of like I said, a kind of a fun edge to them, like a lot of that punk kind of stuff does. But definitely a great band that I'm really excited to see more from here in the future.
So for one of the last bands that I have, it's a band called Snakes, and it's spelt funny. It's spelled Snayx. They're from the UK. We were just listening to them a little bit in between recording. You said you got a little bit of Red Hot Chili Pepper vibe.
They've only got four tracks that they've released. 4 different singles, one from 2018, one from 2019, and then 2 from 2021. One of the tracks sounds like it could be a Red Hot Chili Pepper song. I mean, it's got like that kind of funk, kind of rock kind of sound to it. The one of the other tracks sound like it could have been a White Stripes track.
Yeah, it's got a very White Stripes element, influence there.
It's definitely interesting. There's not a whole lot that you couldn't even find like a bio or anything on the band.
No, they've got a website with merch and shirts and stuff. It looks like they're touring, but it's probably small venues, and they are from the UK. So they're probably not quite there yet. No. But I think they're a band with a lot of potential. I'm always looking for new stuff as far as rock goes. So I'm pretty open to a lot of it. And if I don't like to pigeonhole bands based on, well, that sounds like this or that sounds like that. But when you're first starting out with a band, you're going to kind of go to those elements. And I just see with all these bands that we've mentioned that I'm aware with, because I'm not, 2 of the ones you mentioned wasn't totally familiar with.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of potential in a lot of these bands to be big, to be the next Greta Van Fleets, and really kind of blow up and take the music industry by storm. So hopefully these guys all have a chance, and Snakes is one of them. I think they have potential. And
all of this music, I'll make sure I put stuff from all these bands on the playlist for this week. Yep. So make sure you check out the playlists and listen to some of this music.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all we got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. There are other bands. There's a bunch of great bands out there. I could have talked about Nothing Nowhere. Weston Estate is another really good up-and-coming band. There's a bunch of really great ones out there. So drop us a comment down below. Let us know what some of the bands are that you're really into. We're just looking for newer stuff within the last couple of years that are really up and coming and are going to be like the next big thing in rock music. Because I think that as we've seen over the last couple of years,
rock is very much alive.
And I think there's some really great stuff that's going on in there. And I think a lot of people that complain about rock music being dead are really kind of missing out on a lot of really great stuff. But drop us a comment, let us know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give us the old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. That's all we got. Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Keep on spinning. Peace.